Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and today Rick Doan from Interfaith Social Services here in Quincy joins us. We'll talk about this year's annual Stop the Stigma 5K road race coming up later on this month, some of their other programs as well. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, 63 degrees with a little bit of sunshine breaking through the clouds. Temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 60s this afternoon with some breezy conditions, and a nice opening day at Fenway Park this afternoon. Temperatures will dip into the lower 40s this evening. Kind of an up and down weekend coming up this weekend. Tomorrow is down with the temperature and down with some rain as well. We'll have some scattered showers tomorrow with temperatures only in the low to mid 40s, about 40 degrees for tomorrow night. A little warmer on Sunday, but still a chance for some showers around in the morning, some clouds in the afternoon. High Sunday into the mid 50s and back down again on Monday with some clouds and light rain. Monday's high only 40 degrees. There could, believe it or not, be some snow showers around Monday night into Tuesday morning. So enjoy today. Again, we have a little bit of sunshine and 63 degrees in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, Quincy City Council President and Ward 3 Councilor Ian Cain has announced that he will not be a candidate for re-election this year. After 10 years on the City Council, Cain said he has decided not to run again. Cain says it's not a goodbye to public service, but simply the end of this chapter.
I honestly have no plan. I think I'm going to see where the open road takes me, so to speak. You know, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I went for something last year. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to recalibrate and see what happens. I think I don't want to be calculating about any of these things. I want to see what makes sense, if there's a role that makes sense at a certain point in time. But, I don't want to put that much pressure on it. I think that kind of leaving it be and continuing to be involved. I mean, I got six months left in this term, and however many months, 8 months left in this term. So, we'll finish out strong. We still, speaking of sort of forward thinking and innovative concepts, we're going to get this broadband project over the line. And, that's been 7 years. So, these things take a long time too. But yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. I look forward to staying involved in new ways and finding new ways to engage with the community. And I've got, stuff going on in the background too.
Cain says he intends to serve out the remainder of his term this year and wants to make sure that his idea of creating a municipal broadband service gets off the ground before he leaves office. Cain did not rule out a future run for public office and says he is staying in Quincy. Councilors at large Scott Campbell and Nina Liang have not yet announced if they're seeking re-election this year. However, all other councilors have indicated that they are running again this year. Well, with new federal tariffs taking effect this week, lawmakers here in Massachusetts are bracing for impacts on the local level. State Representative Taki Chan of Quincy says that consumers won't see prices rise right away.
Everything along the Canadian borders adversely affected, including ourselves, right? Hydro-Quebec is one of our major power suppliers, not just for Massachusetts, but for the entire Northeast corridor, right down to New York. And it's clean power, it's cheap power, but it may not be cheap power if Hydro-Quebec and the Quebec government decides to do what Ontario tried to do, is cut everybody off and increase its charges on it by adding fees and things on their side. And you kind of held hostage because of your baseline supply. And you want clean power, hydro's it. Adversely, things like the lumber industry and others where they have cross transport, like Maine's very agriculturally tied to Canada.
Earlier this week, President Trump announced what he called reciprocal tariffs on many imports from Canada, Mexico, and China in a bid to boost U.S. manufacturing and punish other countries for what he says are years of unfair trade practices. The new clubhouse at the Furnace Brook Golf Course in Quincy opens to the public tomorrow. The new $14 million clubhouse replaces the former 100-year-old clubhouse. This new clubhouse will feature a restaurant operated by the Fours, a bar, a covered patio, a pro shop, indoor cart storage, and 4 golf simulators that'll be open year-round on a first-come, first-served basis. The putting green is also being rebuilt and moved to near the first tee. Paving and landscaping will continue as the weather improves. A ribbon-cutting ceremony has been scheduled for the Quincy Animal Care Center. The new $28 million center off Quarry Street will officially open to the public on April 23rd at 3 p.m. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch explains that it's much more than an animal shelter.
Yeah, in fact, that's why it's being called Animal Care Facility rather than a shelter, because it does have a number of uses and, a combination of things, which is great. Our canine officers will operate out of there. That's headed up by Lieutenant Bob Gillen in the police department. He's been part of the group that's been overseeing and recommending the plans that we're seeing now. So the combination of use, and of course, one of the beauties of having the police involved up there is it gives you police presence for that area, which I always like to have. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't think anyone's going to go up and steal a dog, but it's always nice to have police presence. You got the park up there and up at Quarry Street. But yeah, it's going to have several different uses. We've hired somebody that's going to manage the facility for us, and then of course the volunteers have sections in the facility that they will handle the animals. And of course they're going to be bringing in veterinarians and so forth to provide shots, and so that's why it's more than just a shelter. It's going to provide a lot of different services for people.
The animal shelter will be relocating from their temporary home on East Squantum Street to that new center, and also expanding their adoption hours with the addition of more paid staff members. Well, the Quincy Public Schools and Quincy 400 are sponsoring a historical walking tour tomorrow. It's part of the Quincy 400 celebrations this year. Students and adults will take part in this free walk that begins and ends at Adams Field. It will visit 17 historic sites such as the Adams Mansion, the Dorothy Quincy Homestead, Hancock Cemetery, Old City Hall, the Thomas Crane Public Library, the Adams Academy, among many others. The walk will also end at Adams Field. Participants will collect stamps at each location to be put into a passport book. Students in grades K through 8 who bring their completed passport books to class will then be entered into a raffle for a special prize. Complimentary long-sleeved t-shirts will be available for all walkers tomorrow, and there will be cupcakes and bottled water available too. It all starts at 9 a.m. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Interfaith Social Services here in Quincy holding their annual Stop the Stigma 5K road race later on this month. Get all the details from the director next. Welcome back. What really has become an annual tradition here in Quincy for 30-plus years now is the Stop the Stigma 5K walk for Interfaith Social Services. Executive Director Rick Doan is already correcting me. 50 years?
50. This is our 51st.
Okay, but it wasn't always Stop the Stigma.
No, that's
to
true.
be accurate.
That's true. That's true.
How are you, Rick?
Good. Really good. Thank you for having me, Joe.
No, it's a great time to have you too, because April 26th is D-Day, as it were, right?
It is. It's a big day.
Or walk day, at least, certainly.
Yeah.
So how did it all start, actually?
Well, I mean, it started as a way for the community, the whole South Shore community, to come together. It was just a walkathon for many years to support interfaith programs. And it started in a time period where we were going to have to start closing programs. Like, we needed additional support back in the 70s. And so that's when this program started.
Okay.
Our thrift shop, our food pantry, and the 5K all started the same year.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it was a walkathon, and it moved around to different communities on the South Shore.
Yeah, it was the South Shore Walk, I think.
That's right, for a long time.
Right, okay.
And then several years ago, we said, we want to build more awareness around mental illness in our community. And as much as this is a fundraiser, we're going to embrace it first as a platform so that we can be on TV talking about mental health.
Yes.
Because otherwise, how many times do we talk about
It doesn't
this?
get talked about, right?
No.
Yeah.
And that's why we called it the Stop the Stigma 5K.
When did you start that? That Stop the
That
Stigma?
was about 7-8 years ago.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that we
Okay.
changed that. And since then, it has grown exponentially. Just because so many people are affected by mental illness and addiction. So many people themselves or loved ones, and it's the 5K is a time where people can come together and feel that sense of community and support that we want people to feel year-round.
Yeah. Well, of course, we saw that during the the pandemic, is
Sure.
when really mental health kind of took center stage, just because it was impacting folks maybe who had never experienced emotional issues in the past.
Yeah.
Everybody was impacted at some point by that. So
It definitely.
it really pulled the veil away, I think.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
That a lot of people were suffering with these things. And in the pandemic, people started talking more openly about it. And it opened the door for more people, and it started to overcome that stigma more. The reason I've heard several people say, "So what's a stigma?" You know, because that's what
it's
we
a good
call
question,
it.
yeah.
Stop the Stigma 5K.
Right.
A stigma means something that people are maybe hesitant to talk about.
Yep.
There may be misconceptions or preconceptions about something.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's a stigma, and we want to eliminate that.
The same thing applied to cancer years ago. It was called the C word. Nobody
Yep.
would talk about it. you know?
Exactly.
How silly was that?
And I hope that there comes a time when people look back on that. Because unfortunately, people look at mental illness and think of it as a character flaw.
Yeah.
Oh, pick yourself up by the bootstraps
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
It's an illness. You wouldn't say that to somebody with cancer.
And like cancer, if it's caught early and treated properly,
Yep.
it can be very successfully controlled and managed.
Exactly.
And folks can have very productive lives.
Just like any other illness.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 So the funds raised go right to your counseling center.
And that's right. So it used to be that the event would just support all of our programs. Now all of the events all of the funds raised go to supporting our counseling center.
Okay. So, would you say that this and then Feed the Hungry in December are your two biggest?
That's it.
Events?
Those are our biggest.
Yeah.
Also, it's wonderful. The Heritage Companies here in Quincy, they're one of the sponsors of the 5K. And they also do a golf tournament for us.
Oh, okay.
They're doing a golf tournament in May,
Oh.
where all the proceeds support our homelessness prevention program.
Ah, okay.
So that's something they're organizing, and we are so grateful
Oh,
for
really?
them to organize that.
They took it
They
on
do
their own?
all of it, and then it's actually already sold out.
Oh, okay.
Like they are. So nobody should go online. If they want to donate to support it,
Certainly.
opportunities are available.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Heritage Companies is a great partner.
Is
We're
that
very
right?
grateful for that.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
So we're talking about folks who are helping you out. And who are the other sponsors this year?
So Arbella Insurance, longtime supporter, and then also Wolfpack Charitable. They are donors. They are our presenting level donors, and then the 5K level donors are Heritage Companies, the City of Quincy, and New England Medical Group.
Okay.
They are really great supporters, and we're very grateful for them.
Very good. So let's talk about it. It's April 26th, 9:30 a.m. Begins and ends at the Kennedy Center.
That's right. Up and around Squantum, it's a beautiful view. We tell people it's hilly.
It is, believe it or not. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We try to tell people, show the elevation and how it changes. But if it weren't, Squantum would not exist.
It'd be
It
underwater,
needs
right?
to be above. It's a peninsula.
Right, yeah.
So it starts at the Kennedy Center. We ask that people park. We have shuttles, and we have people that pull up. So they're parking out at
Marina
what was that?
Marina Bay?
Marina Bay.
Yep.
So they're parking at Marina Bay. We have shuttles that bring them back.
Okay.
If people have strollers, we encourage them to drop off the strollers ahead of time.
Okay.
So they can drop family off and then go down and park.
And get their shuttle
strollers
back.
on
Okay.
buses are not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's awkward. Yeah. Okay.
And then they come back, and all the runners and walkers.
Yep.
So we call it a 5K. You do not have to be a runner
Okay.
to participate in this event.
Okay.
There are lots and lots of people who walk. and it's about showing support. And so they go around Squantum, see beautiful views of the ocean and Boston, and then come back.
There's a picture of you at the starting line a few years ago, and it's a great indication of just the hordes of people that participate. This looks like it was a nice, bright, sunny day. It can be anything, of course.
Rain or shine.
Yeah, rain or shine. Yeah,
We're going to be there, rain or shine. And we know some people wait until that last week. And we understand.
Sure. Yeah.
But we do reach capacity.
Yes.
And when we reach capacity, the last couple of years, we do shut off our registration online.
Okay.
And we really ask people to register ahead of time because the day of is pretty crazy. There's we're looking at about 1,000 people.
That's
this year.
incredible. Yeah. I mean, we were talking earlier. I was thinking, 300-400 people. That was in the past, right? That was years ago.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, it was. Each year, it's a little. We try to get the math right.
Yeah.
How many shuttles do we need?
Right.
How many porta potties do we need?
Yeah, all the
And
logistical things, right? Yeah.
You'd think there would be an equation out there. If you Googled it,
Yes.
this many people, this many porta potties.
Yeah. No?
There's no equation out there.
Okay.
So
You'll have to start one.
I know, but it's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
We have games. We
Well,
have
that's right.
Great raffles.
Yeah. Tell us.
Really, all over there. Hotel stays,
Nice.
sports packages, eating out, dine around Quincy, dine around Hingham, dine around the South Shore. One of the really cool ones, it's opening day today.
Yes.
And one of the really cool ones is Red Sox tickets, and you get to go out on the field during batting practice.
Neat.
That's a unique one of
That's a bucket list item for a lot of folks. Yeah. Okay.
And each entry to the raffle is $5.
Okay.
You don't have to be at the 5K to buy raffle tickets.
Okay.
People can go right on our website and click on the link, and they can start buying tickets. And after the 5K, we do the drawing.
Okay. All right. Can they buy them right now? Is it
Yeah,
open for
right now.
Right now, it's open.
Everybody can go on.
Okay.
StopTheStigma5K.org or
Okay.
InterfaithSocialServices.org.
Okay, very good. I know a lot of people in the running community, though, look forward to this event. They take this seriously because it is a timed event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a timed event.
Yeah.
And our deadline for T-shirts has passed.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. So if people register now, they can absolutely come and participate. We're going to have a smoothie bowl and ice cream truck for purchase there at the event.
Okay.
So it's going to be really fun, but they're going to have to register earlier next year if they want a T-shirt.
All right. Well, lesson learned, right?
Yep, yep.
Lesson learned. But still able to support it regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like all the funds, and we have such. People come because they want to run,
Yeah.
because it's timed.
And of course, it's the Saturday after the marathon, so a lot of runners will be spooked.
We still have runners that do the marathon and come to this event.
Do they really?
That is hardcore.
That's serious.
That
yeah.
is hardcore.
They're not messing around.
No, but also for a lot of people, running is a form of therapy.
Yes.
Like it is cathartic,
Yeah.
and it is legitimately. There are running groups
Oh, for
around
sure.
mental illness
Yes.
that come and participate in the event. That they themselves are doing it as a form of therapy and supporting other people. So it's just wonderful to see so many aspects of our community coming together, and the volunteers. It takes a lot of volunteers
gonna
to
say,
do this event.
yeah.
And it's just all the different aspects of society that support this.
I know in the past you've had a lot of help from like the North Quincy ROTC kids. Do they help out again this year?
I don't know if they're signed
Okay.
up this year, but the Quincy Police are
Police Department?
fantastic.
Excellent, yeah.
We are very blessed here in the city with great police department, great support, who really reach out to us, help us coordinate it, help us plan for it. We're blessed.
Sure. Do you need more help for that day, Rick?
I think for volunteers, I think the positions are full.
Good shape? Okay.
Because we're a couple weeks out right now.
Right.
And we try to have them full as early as we can.
Certainly, yeah.
But at Interfaith Social Services, we are always looking for volunteers.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So people can go right on our website, fill out a questionnaire, a pre-screener, to see if it's the right fit for them.
Okay. We should talk about the New Directions Counseling Center, which this
Yeah.
event benefits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 10 therapists on staff, and they see people with a variety of diagnoses, people who are struggling with life. We had an elderly gentleman come in a couple weeks ago, and he'd lost his wife. And just needed some support. And he reached out, and he was able to come in and just left with a big smile on his face.
How about that?
Yeah, but it's helping people who are suffering from addiction,
Yep.
PTSD, you know, all different forms of anxiety, depression.
Sure, yeah.
Talk therapy is a really important way to help overcome these types of illnesses.
Yeah. So is that the main form of counseling? Is talk therapy?
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Okay. So it's not medication or things.
No,
of
I
that
mean, we
nature?
do, if somebody would need it, we would prescribe them out.
Gotcha.
We'd send them to somebody who can prescribe.
Yeah.
But we're focused on talk therapy.
Okay. And it used to be first 4 visits were no charge? Still?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So if somebody has insurance, you know, they can use their insurance. We take most forms of insurance,
Okay.
but we want to break down barriers. So anybody who needs the help can come in. And also it's a sliding fee scale based on income.
Okay.
So depending on what their income is, and we tie that to federal poverty rates and number of people in the household so that we can make sure that people are invested, but that it's supporting our efforts too at the same time.
And does the counseling take place right there at 105 Adams Street?
101.
Oh, 101, right.
So we
Okay.
have rented office space in the building next door.
Okay.
And so that's where all of our therapists are.
Very good. Do you need more therapists?
Always.
Always.
Yes. If somebody out there is interested, please send me your resume.
Because they're volunteering their services, right?
No,
Oh, they're not.
they're paid staff
they're
members.
paid staff members.
That's where all of this is going. So the money we raise through the 5K
Okay.
is going to pay our therapists.
Okay.
These are skilled clinicians
Yeah.
who have been doing this for a long time
Yeah.
and really bring a depth of experience and perspective and healing.
Yeah, that's amazing. How much does this event raise, Rick?
We're hoping for $150,000 this year.
Okay.
That's our goal.
That's the goal. With 1,000 people participating, you're going to get pretty close. I'm
We're
sure.
getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we need people to buy raffle
Still
tickets.
time. I was
Yeah.
just going to say.
Make donations.
Yeah. You have, we talked a lot about new directions, but there's the food pantry, the thrift shop as well that we have to mention today, right?
Yeah.
That also always are busy.
The thrift shop is one of our other big fundraisers. And we've expanded the hours to try to increase the number of people that can access it.
Saturdays.
Exactly. Saturday.
Wow, really? It's a big deal, though.
It is.
Yeah.
So Saturdays, Thursday evenings, Tuesday evenings. And for a long time, we were only open in the afternoons. And people couldn't donate. They couldn't shop. And we need the support. We need people to come in and shop in our thrift shop.
Okay.
Because all the funds raised support our other programs.
Yes. What are the
Yeah.
Saturday hours?
It is from 10 to 3:30.
Okay.
10 to
All right.
got me on the spot. I should have.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
10
No,
to
it's-
3:30.
I just think Saturdays, it makes it so accessible for so many more people
Yeah.
that can't come during the week. I
Well-
think you're going to see a surge.
And it increases the amount of stuff we have too. So
Because people can bring in donations also,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
So it's more items, more diversity of items for more people,
Sure.
which is a good thing.
The food pantry is a staple for Interfaith, right?
Yep.
Has
It's our
been.
biggest program.
Yeah, for sure. And it's grown exponentially, unfortunately.
Not just us.
Yeah.
This is food pantries throughout Massachusetts. And they are a visible representation of the lack of affordable housing. People's rents keep going up, and they have to focus the limited funds they have to keep a roof over their head.
Yes.
And so they increasingly have to turn to emergency food programs to provide food for their families. The number of clients we serve has increased 400%
It's astounding.
since the pandemic.
It's astounding. It's only 5 years.
It is, well, that's 4 years worth
Well,
of data.
right, yeah.
I'm going like, I don't even, pulling this year's data?
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I always am grateful for the opportunity to thank people. There, people who are watching are volunteers who come in and serve in our food pantry. They are clients who humble themselves, and we're so happy we can help them. And people who are watching right now donate to support our programs. So it's just to every aspect of the city of Quincy, thank you.
Sure. We heard not too long ago the Greater Boston Food Bank is impacted by federal cuts. Is
Oh.
that coming down the line to you?
That's where 50% of our food comes
Is that
from.
right? Okay.
So when you hear in the news that the Greater Boston Food Bank is getting less food,
Yeah.
that means we are getting less food.
That's what I was
That
afraid
means
of.
we have to purchase more food.
Okay. Yep.
So when you hear our numbers, we're already spending an additional $500,000 more than we were 4 years ago for food. So we were already, you know,
Kind of behind the eight ball.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And to have these cuts, and there's so much uncertainty
Right now.
that
yes,
we've
yeah.
heard the cuts are coming. what is it going to affect?
Right.
Right now, we've still been able to get eggs and milk from the Greater Boston Food Bank. To a degree, we still have to supplement that by purchasing
Certainly.
some to serve all of our clients. We've been told that's one of the things that's going to be cut.
Sure. Makes Stop the Stigma even that much more important this year.
Absolutely.
Right.
To all the people who support us in all the different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
StopTheStigma5k.org again to register or to donate or to do both.
Absolutely.
And new medal categories this year too, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We expanded. We're helping more people. Since there's so many more people participating in the 5K,
Yeah.
we want to make sure people are awarded in different age categories.
Nice.
There's, some age categories run at different times than other age categories.
Yes.
And we don't want to necessarily lump everybody together. So we've expanded the age categories.
Good. I'm not competing against a marathoner.
No, and also made it more inclusive too.
Yeah.
So we have, male, female, non-binary to represent everybody who participates in the
Nice.
event.
Very good. Always a pleasure, Rick. I hope you have a great event again this year. I'm sure you will. Rain or shine.
Thank you, and 50 years.
50 years.
51 years.
And going strong.
Yep.
All
Thank
right.
you, Joe.
You're welcome. Check the forecast for the rest of the day today. Too bad it's not the 5K today because it's beautiful. It might be a little too warm for some of the runners, actually. Temperatures in the mid-60s with a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Lower 40s this evening. Tomorrow, we're back to the raw, damp side of April with off and on showers. Highs only in the mid-40s. A little warmer with some showers on Sunday. And we're back down again to 40 with showers on Monday. Maybe some snow showers on Monday night, believe it or not. Thanks again to Rick Doan for joining us from Interfaith Social Services.
Thank you.
Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching Monday here on the show. Kelly Eisner from the American Red Cross stopping by. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there, along with news and information. There's video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.